What's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like any other day, my friends. Guys, thank you for being here. Don't forget, if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and please, by all means, leave a comment. To all my regulars and returning, thank you so much. For everybody, thank you so much for being here, guys. It really does. It means the world to me. I really appreciate being able to do this. So, guys, as you guys know, I like to, basically share the lessons that I'm learning as I go, right? And it's funny, I was looking up the Just for Today NA slogan today, and it was something to do with sharing when we have hard times as well as good times, so other people know how to cope when they have a bad day. And, ironically, I'm like, it was kind of the theme of today, because, I had some trying issues today, but all in all, I look at the positivity and everything. And I no sooner did this, guys, and I'm going out to hop in the truck to go. Well, I was actually. All right, we'll back up a little bit. So we'll get through the whole thing. Bear with me. All right, so we're gonna give the whole nutshell, right? As you guys know, I left my former life, and particularly my former job, and my old boss, calls me from time to time and tries to get me back in. Well, most of the companies down on the island in Nantucket finishing up a big project we started last year, and invited me to go, and of course that's out of the question. He still actively does drugs. I can't be around him. But he did, ask if I would give the other guy, Chris, that I used to work with, a hand for a couple of days this week, where everybody else is going to be away, and Chris was going to be in the position I used to be in, and being up here by himself. And I like Chris a lot. He's a clean-cut kid, smokes a little bit of weed, but that's it, nothing beyond that. And he's a good kid, and him and I get along well. So I said, I reluctantly agreed to work a couple of days with my former company. And again, here's the thing, guys. I've put that life to rest, right? And God tells me constantly that, don't go backwards, right? You got to close the door. If you know it's not good for you, you got to close that door. And I'm reluctant because the guy, as much as I know, and I've told him I can't be around with him, and I can't interact with him while he's actively getting high. I shouldn't go backwards, period, right? So I reluctantly agreed to work with him today. And here's the thing, guys. My business is starting to pick up. So now I've given him 8 hours of my day, 2 days in a row that I really can't afford to give him, because now I've got other obligations that I'm rushing around. And guys, my whole thing today and my whole life, and like I tell you guys, is don't allow that. You can't. You got to put you first. You can't overextend yourself and then play rush around, right? So here I am doing exactly what I say not to do, and let me explain the results. One of my customers has got me going over to put a faucet and replace the faucet at his former home that he rents out. Not a big deal, right? I go get the faucet, pick up some other stuff at the Home Depot. I get to the house, and I go to walk in, and my very simple couple of tools that I need that I use daily are suddenly not in my truck. Don't know where they are, right? So I'm like, all right, you must be at the apartment. It's getting late. I'll come back and replace the faucet in the morning, and at this point it's already like 6 o'clock, and it's getting a little bit late to be going at tenant's home. So come back to the house, but of course I'm stressed out, right? I come in, I looking around my apartment, can't find him anywhere. Don't know if I left him. I know I didn't leave my job. I know I had him in the truck. Last place I looked was looking at that faucet on Sunday. Anyway, I got other tools to replace him with. It's not the end of the world, but I'm letting it rent space in my head. So I go down to the pickup truck and I'm tearing the truck apart, trying to figure out where the hell these things went, because there's things. I've got a lot of tools in this truck. There's power tools of a lot more value. Nobody's going to walk away with a couple pairs of pliers and a couple of screwdrivers. And again, I've got others to replace them with. But I'm holding myself more accountable these days, and I'm irritated because I don't know where I put my tools. And I'm usually better than this, but this is what happens when I start rushing around. It's a very good chance I probably brought him to work with me today and left him in my buddy's truck, right? So now it's got me scattered, right? Now the other thing that went on today is we're doing some work around here at my building here. And I have the place where I park the pickup truck that I'm driving. My boss, my landlord lets me drive, and I've got my Harley Davidson out there, and we've got a Bobcat there, and we got a dumpster in the parking lot, and then we got rented parking spots. Well, we're getting a second dumpster in for a project that we're doing up the road, so I had to move the Bobcat, move the salt barrels, move my Harley Davidson out of the way, and I'm going to share the spot between the pickup truck and the Harley. And I figured while doing so, I might as well pull the Harley over to the near the garage door and get it plugged in, because it's springtime's here. It's time to get my bike going, right? And it needs a little bit of work to. I want to get it done right properly this year, because in the past I'd be high out of my mind and just out there playing with the bike for the sake of playing with it, not really fixing anything, and doing the same things over and over again. And I'm like, you know what? That's not going to happen this year. So I'm out there looking for my tools, got myself irritated, can't find them, and I say, you know what? I'm going to give up the day. Let me just go to the gym, blow off some steam, come back, record my video, and you know, I'll figure out my topic for the night, and we'll go about my business, right? I hop in my pickup truck, and again, I talked about it yesterday. The backup camera on the truck is not working, and my landlord has asked me to take care of that. Now, I would have taken care of that today or yesterday had I not been at work at my old job. Well, being that I haven't done that yet, I proceed to forget that I moved my Harley Davidson right into the backup area where I back up, and I backed my motorcycle into my Harley Davidson and crushed the rear fender of my bike. Okay? There you go. That's what happens. And again, I consider myself blessed and protected by God. And you know what? That was a perfect reminder of a couple of things. And here's the thing, guys. I tell you guys that everything happens for a reason. When you're doing the spiritual work like I am, and describing to you guys, you literally got to see the lesson and everything. Two things I got to look at from this. I didn't take a multitude. Never mind, two things. We're going to go over the list of things I'm going to take out of this and why I actually ended up laughing my ass off. It literally brought me back down to earth. Rather than getting upset, I literally started laughing because, like, literally, man, I have learned to alchemize things in my life that you wouldn't believe. Not only do I see the upside in everything, but I also see the lessons in everything, right? And crushing my bike was multifaceted lesson that needed to be taken. That I shouldn't have been doing what I was doing all day. I should have put me first. I had other things to do that were more important for me than to bail somebody else out. That's not my responsibility. Make a fraction of the money that I would have made working for myself. Put myself under pressure, running around where a couple of simple tools not being where they should be were able to derail me, or not really derail, but yeah, pretty much derail me. And now I've got all this extra work to do on my motorcycle. Well, then I started looking at it, seeing if I could pull the fender off the wheel, just so I could, at least roll it out of the way so nobody else would back into it. And I realized that in one of my seasons of being high out of my mind, the rear fender, the back of the backrest, and all the wiring were never properly installed. So, very good. Thank you very much. Before I go to work on my bike, I now know, rather than starting at the front end, I'm literally going to take the back tire off. I'm going to take the rear fender off. I'm going to rewire it. Now, I got no choice but to rework or replace the rear fender. And honestly, the paint job, I repainted the bike myself, and I hadn't clear coated it properly because, again, I was impatient, high out of my mind, and I didn't wait for it to clear, so the clear coat looked like hell anyway. So, rather than being all upset, I literally sat back and I just started laughing my ass off, and I stopped and I said a prayer and said, "Thank you for the lesson, God. You know what? This could have been much worse. I didn't do any major damage." And what I actually did manage was to uncover some mistakes, some former mistakes from my past, while getting the lesson of why we don't go back to places that we know we're not supposed to go. Now, this is a very harmless lesson, guys. It didn't involve me slipping and having a relapse and destroying my life and tanking my life. But again, there's many, many lessons to be taken here. Don't go where you know you shouldn't go. Don't go backwards in life. It's never worthwhile. Don't put somebody else's... And again, I'm all about giving where you can. But again, this is a place where I know I can't give, because every time I go there, I'm brought back to a person that I used to be and expected to do things that I'm no longer comfortable or happy doing. Not that the work I was doing, but it's the environment in general, right? It's the way I was... I'm literally showing up working under a master licensed plumber, and he's deferring to me because I used to run the company for years, and I had the least experience of anybody there. But it's just it's the skill sets and the way that I work. And again, I'm not being paid to run somebody else's company, right? So just all the lessons at Malta, and this is how you look at it, guys, right? You don't go backwards when you know better. You stand your ground, and this is what my whole life is all about. But honestly, I felt bad, and I thought I could make an exception, and it wouldn't be that big a deal. And you know what? It ended up being a pretty big deal. And again, in the scheme of things, not at all. But the way my life goes, I'm in alignment with God. I'm in alignment with what I'm doing in my life. And when I immediately stepped out of where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, because I've got major things going on. I got major goals, and I'm holding myself to a higher standard, because I've got something to prove here, and prove to myself, and I'm proving to myself every day in the miracles that I'm manifesting in my day. Just what I'm doing is absolutely the right thing. Sorry, guys, just watch my face. My eyes are a little bit red. I actually started this video before. When I looked at myself on screen, I realized I was covered in crap from working all day, so I had to stop and wash up before I get on the video, and now my eyes are a little red. But anyway, that's it, guys. You know what? And then on top of it, right? So then not only that, but the lesson that I had to learn God being as good to me as He is, and again, I didn't, yeah, I really did. I mean, I didn't. There's no way I could ride around with that bike looking with the paint looking the way it did. God forbid I put somebody in the back of that motorcycle with the backrest not properly secured, not having realized that. And I may not have noticed any of that because I'm more concerned with the way the engine's running right now. I got a couple little things to do on the bike. I may not have taken the time to do any of this. And now I've got no choice but to do so. And so in that moment, in the past, I would have been so upset. Oh my God, I smashed my Harley Davidson. It's my pride and joy. It's my baby. It's the one thing I didn't lose in sobriety. What do I got to back? No, guys. I played with that bike when I shouldn't have, when I was high on heroin, and I literally put something together that I had no idea. I hadn't put that thing back together. The backrest wasn't properly connected. The wiring wasn't properly. It could have rubbed on the tire. Literally, that what could have in the past derailed my entire day, pulled me out of myself, made me understand. You know what? This is what happens when I go out of alignment, and that's exactly what I did today, guys. Is I went out of alignment and went backwards. And when you go backwards and you get out of alignment, you learn your lesson very quickly. And I'm very fortunate that I took the lesson quickly. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that I uncovered a possible issue. Not, more than likely, guys, I'm going to be working on the bike, next coming week or so, and I'll be talking about it. And I'll probably share some pictures because I love the thing. And I probably would have uncovered most of these issues anyway, but who knows? Now they're at the forefront. And I learned a beautiful lesson about not going backwards and putting myself first. And again, I'm all about giving to others where it's appropriate. But a former job that took advantage of me, that the day that I got out of rehab, I get in the guy's truck and he goes to the dealer's house to get pick up drugs with me in the vehicle. That's not a place for me to be, right? That's not where I'm respected. It's where I'm taken advantage of. And you know what? I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad, and the guy's calling me constantly, and I'm blowing him off constantly, and I started to feel a little bit bad because at one point in time he did give me a shot when I'd lost another job. But again, that doesn't matter. I've more than made up for that in the time that I was there. The fact that I ran his company for peanuts for a couple of years. I've paid my dues there. There's nothing there for me. I owe him nothing. I will, remain friendly. But again, and if he ever wants to get sober, I'll be his sobriety coach in a heartbeat because he's a good guy. But he's got to get out of his own way. I can't force him to. He knows what I'm doing. He knows what I'm about, and that's why I can't go back there. And guys, had I not, I would have had a completely different day than the day that I did. And again, before anybody's crazy in the video comments, guys, everything that happened today was an absolute blessing because it put me right back on track, and it was a perfect reminder, and it's a perfect lesson for you guys to understand. Again, like I talk about, your reactions to what happens, it's all about accountability and looking into what happened today. And today I acted out of my normal range, and things went completely opposite of the way my life has been going lately. And that's what happens when you work hand in hand with God. If you want miracles to manifest in your life daily, like the way that I do, and you work as hard as I do to get it, and you put as much faith and as much alchemy into your life as I have through the Lord, if you step off track, expect to get corrected. And that's exactly what happened. I was just corrected, and I'm very, very grateful that I was. And I can laugh about it today because it's not that big a deal, guys. I can fix it, and it's going to end up being just one more step in the bike, which really needed to be done because I really want to take the bike. Basically, I want to tear it down to the frame the next week. Make sure I didn't make any other mistakes because honestly, as good as qualified as a mechanic I is, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're out there, smoking crack and snorting heroin while you're working on stuff, it's not going to be a quality work. So before I go riding the thing down the highway at highway speeds, I'd like to know that I didn't make any other mistakes, and I don't make those mistakes today. So guys, thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for listening to me. Again, I try and make these more about lessons that I don't apply. I'm not trying to put it all about me, but I'm trying to be raw and authentic with you guys so you'll understand where I'm coming from when I say these things, guys. And these are the things you gotta, and I put myself out as an example of the good, and I'm gonna share the bad, guys, because it's still learning progress for me as well. I hope you guys are coming along with me and learning, and those that are ahead of me, I hope feel free to encourage and guide and give me a heads up when if you see something I'm going sideways on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Lesson learned. Beautiful day. I'm actually. This is the best after crashing the truck into the bike, it actually put me in the best mood I've been in all day because, again, I realized without a doubt that everything I'm doing does matter, is on point, and when I step on a line, I'm going to feel it because I kind of thought I could slip a little bit and it wouldn't be that big a deal and I wouldn't pay for it. And no, I'm very glad I'm paying for it because I want to hold myself accountable today. And that's the lesson without it being too damaging that now I know I will plow forward and not look back. And yeah, that's it, guys. Guys, God loves you. I love you. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Be blessed. Like, subscribe, share. Leave me a comment. I'm sure I'll get a couple comments in this one. Thank you, guys. God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.